Hey guys, what's up? Russ here with day 100 of my video a day series for 2022. I got tagged in top 10 favorite first appearance comics by my brother SimpleSimon. I believe he said Alex the Comic Hoarder started this tag. I've seen a bunch of other people in the community doing this, and man, they've got some books that I can only dream about having. My collection isn't nearly that great, but I pulled out 10 of my favorite first appearances, so let's jump into it. First up, got Green Lantern 48, the very first appearance of Kyle Rayner. Now Kyle was pretty much the Green Lantern when I started reading Green Lantern comics, because my very first issue was 46. It was the crossover with the Reign of Superman, and that is when I started reading, and Hal Jordan was pretty much on his way out. Kyle Rayner was coming in. So Rayner was the Green Lantern for the majority of the time that I read this book back in the day. So this is easily one of my top 10 favorite first appearances. Next up is a cover that everybody seems to trash on and say is garbage, but I don't know. I personally absolutely love this cover. I think it's action-packed. Yes, it has a ton of characters and it might be considered busy, but not to me. To me, I love it. And that is the first appearance of one of my all-time favorite X-Men, Rogue, Avengers Annual 10. I just don't know why people hate this cover, man. Again, I think it's action-packed. I think it's awesome. Granted, a lot of copies were like miscut. I've seen some like even worse than this, where Iron Man's like whole head was missing and the wrap was bad. But as far as the cover goes, I dig it, man. I really do. And again, absolutely love Rogue, so I had to put this on the list. Next up is Captain America issue 34 from the Brubaker run. This is the very first appearance of Bucky Barnes as Captain America. This cover is just absolutely beautiful. I'm a huge Captain America fan. He is my favorite Marvel superhero. I didn't know much about Bucky before I started reading this story, but he just turned into one of my favorite characters as well, so I had to put his first appearance as Captain America on this list. Next up is the first appearance of a character that a couple years ago I didn't really know anything about. Then I read the Infinity Gauntlet trade paperback for the very first time, and the character I'm talking about is Nebula, and her first appearance, the Avengers 257. Infinity Gauntlet was one of the greatest stories, if not the greatest, I've ever read. And it opened my eyes to like so many characters and the roles that they played in that were like so much different than the movies. So after reading that, I had to track down this book with Nebula's first appearance. Next up is a character that I first discovered in the Death of Superman storyline. Didn't know anything about him before that because, well, that was pretty much the first comics I started reading as a kid. And the character I'm talking about is Booster Gold. I have his first appearance in Booster Gold number 1, created by the man himself, Dan Jurgens. Had to throw this one on the list. This was a very generous AOK from my buddy JPL Flash. And next up is another AOK. I had to include this. You can't have a top 10 first appearance list and not include this character if you have this book, and that is Amazing Spider-Man 300, first appearance of Venom. Huge shout out to the boy who had 7 for this book. And this cover has just been homage to death because it's so awesome, dude. Next up, this was a dream book of mine that I was able to pick up at a great deal a couple years ago. And that is Superman 123. And the character's first appearance, Supergirl. This is actually the prototype appearance. She was only ever in this one issue, but I count it as a true first appearance. It was about a year later when Kira Zor-El's Supergirl showed up. So this one has that beat to me. But eventually I plan on getting the other one as well. But this is Definitely one of my all-time grail books right here. Next is the first appearance of a character that I never thought I would have this book. I actually saw it in my comic shop. I did an impulse buy and it's finally paid off. And that is the first Silver Age appearance of Vision, Avengers 57, baby. Again, this is a cover I think that people are really divided on. Some love it, some hate it. I'm on the side where I absolutely love it. Had to put this one on the list. Next up is another book I never thought I would own. I finally pulled the trigger on this one. I believe it was in 2020. And that is the first appearance of the Phoenix Uncanny X-Men 101. Absolutely love this character. Love this storyline. And the storyline that came out of this, the Dark Phoenix saga, easily one of the greatest X-Men stories of all time. Had to throw this one up on the list, man. And last up is actually the very first slab I ever bought. I picked this book up back in 2018 when I started first getting more serious about collecting. And that is the Savage She-Hulk issue 1, first appearance of She-Hulk Jennifer Walters. Got this thing at a steal in a 9.6 back in 2018. Had to put this in the top 10. This is just one of those books that's most likely always going to be in my collection. Unless for whatever reason it balloons up to $1 million and then it's for sale. Right, that is my top 10 first appearances. And I know you're supposed to tag people, but I really don't like doing that. Because I don't want to leave anybody out that wants to do it. So what I'm going to do is an open tag. Anybody that sees this that wants to do their top 10 favorite first appearances, feel free to join in on the tag and do it. And SimpleSimon's video will be linked below because he's the one that tagged me. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for day 101. Peace.
What did you say his power level is? It's over 9,000!